the federal certificates next week.
Excuse me, can I ask a question? Maybe you told me, Vern, but how much insurance does Aunt Eva have? Does she have much? Life insurance?
We lived about $5,000.
Is that all?
I don't think.
$150 paid up policy she took out 40, 50 years ago.
An official life.
That's right. It was something that was taken out automatically when she was employed a beneficiary.
Yeah, that'd be $1,500.
It goes on and on.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead now, Kate.
Well, anyway,
I'm sorry.
I think rather than take a 2.5-year certificate, only 6 month certificate is paying now about 13.4%.
13.
Money market.
Money.
Yeah. That's keep it quite liquid.
Yeah.
Tell them the risks are young men. That's our problem.
Well, Mim's on the certificate with her.
Oh, she is? Why?
That's the way she did it.
I think
I don't mean the new one, on the old account. Mim's on there with her.
you read that little article.
Ooh, I
Well, she's got a savings account. Also in Mim's name.
With Mim's name on it? Well, now, but is that the one that represents Hillside Avenue?
Yeah.
That's okay, because that's our understanding.
I don't know what it is. I'm going to ask her tomorrow if she wants to leave Mim's name on it.
Yeah. If it's Hillside, that's another thing.
That's what it was,
But Gates says she's also on this other one. Min's on this other one.
Yeah, there's a savings, there's a regular pass, there's a savings account and this certificate.
Over $10,000.
Is that right?
Joe, we were wondering too if maybe you ought to be given power of attorney to handle any of this affair.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out from Dave Gillette, but I can't get a hold of that guy. I've called him and called him, and
I just hate to be.
in fact, I called him at home tonight just before I came here to see if I could get him there, and I couldn't get him there.
But I think for
So-
her peace of mind, if there were some system to it, handle it, we go down there with little papers and say, sign this, and sign that.
Well, and it's tough enough now, isn't it? But if she gets any senility to her or anything like that, oh boy.
I sure think it would simplify things, and you being the oldest son,
Well, I don't know that I want it. I'd rather have you have it.
I don't want it.
Well,
You can't give her a lot of stuff.
well, I know that, Gates. The only reason I know that it's a strain to you, Vern. The only reason I say that is I know Aunt Eva. Well, she trusts us all, but I think she has a lot of faith in you. You know.
I know, Joe, but
But you take the worry, Joe, and let Laverne do the social.
I just think they're business matters that you fellows understand better than I do.
Well, hers isn't that complicated, is it?
No, so
Well,
far.
no, it's responsibility, and the thing is, you buy these money markets, all right, every 6 months you've got to determine what are you going to do with it now, what's going to bring you the best deal. It isn't like you buy it for a couple of years and you don't worry about it, it's going to keep coming. Got one on the 29th.
Well, you're not
Bought
sure about
another one
that
that's
yet.
coming in, that will come in, I think, May.
Well, Gates, should we get an opinion from the group here as to the thing you just suggested?
Well, I talked to the manager of that federal over on 13 South this morning, and she said, well, I would definitely recommend just put it in money market. She said,
Rather than a late fee.
rather than, well,
You agree more?
better
Let's
for
go
sure.
ahead.
But how do you approach it even from that angle?
Well, you can't get into any better than
Makes her
that.
feel like maybe you're
So you're just making money for her, really, though, aren't you? It's an investment,
Well,
isn't
that's
it?
how I got her on the November
Sure,
show.
that's all
You
I'd
want me to
say.
mention that to her when I see her?
Well, you're going to see her tomorrow.
We're going up.
Let
I
Gates
gotta get her
mention
some
to her.
signs of the car.
Sure.
Well, that's just her business.
She'll trust your judgment.
But I'm sure I'll be able to hear what Dave Gillette says about this power of attorney and
I think you'll say that's the way we ought to go, but I think we ought to be careful whom we have. Because
Too bad Cliff won't do it, then we wouldn't have all the expense involved with having it.
Yeah, Cliff won't do it though. Well, do we want Cliff? I don't think we want Cliff to do it though, do we?
Oh, I don't think so. I think Cliff wouldn't do it.
I don't think he'd take it, he said, no.
I don't think he would either, but
Talk to Dave, that's exactly what it
even if he would, I don't know that I'd want Cliff to do it.
No, I think Cliff wants to keep arm distance on that.
But I
In
just
fact, about a mile's distance.
What about our condominium? How's that set up?
Well,
Trust or?
that's set up in the family partnership, Gates, the trust or the partnership, I forget which, that it automatically reverts to Dad's children upon her death. Isn't that the way?
one thing about these things, in Minnie's name, they're all so that if men should predecease Aunt Eva, it would naturally fall back to partnership. But if Aunt Eva predeceases, then it will go to Minnie and her heirs.
The one we did last November, Aunt Eva told Laverne, she said, I want your name on there with mine.
Well, now let me ask.
So it's Laverne, Eva, or.
Yeah, and that's why I wish all of them were. But let me ask a question. Isn't my understanding correct that on all partnerships there should be a minimum of meetings? There should be a meeting once a year on a partnership?
I don't, we have one in our family on Sugar House property, but I haven't heard anything about that.
don't?
Dick Burdock, attorney, has done my legal work.
I think if you're a corporation,
I know corporation has to, but I thought partnership had to have some sort of. But you've got that with your.
Well, he never didn't say anything about having it. Of course, we haven't got any partnership agreements on our part. That's the only thing we got, that one property.
I think our apprehension about Aunt Min, in case she outlives Aunt Eva, is nothing to be concerned about. From what Aunt Eva said, whether it's true or not, I don't know. She said Min just cannot be alone.
She can't what?
She can't be alone. So I think the minute, I think she's even staying a great deal of the time beside Eva now. Or else her grandchildren are coming down to stay in Iowa.
Oh, I think Aunt Min wouldn't plan to be there a month after if Aunt Eva were to pass away.
Oh, I know, she's too nervous. And Eva said if she hears somebody walk through the little breezeway there to go to their apartment, she just right up on all fours, just nervous.
Is that right?
They're going to be attacked. Oh, it's
Is
part of
that
that
right?
southern superstition too, and that all works together, superstition and fear and anxiety. And that even told me the other day, I said, how has Min doing being alone? Because when I was there the day before they took her to the hospital, I thought Min looks to me like she's just not lost in this world. She was just shaking and nauseated all day and all night. And so I said to Aunt Eva, she said, how did you find Min? And I said, well, not very well. And I said, is she nervous about being there alone? She said, she is nervous. And she told me how she just up and at the windows and doors and frightened to death. Anybody
Gee, is that right?
Walked through the breezeway and I said, well, she realized they've got to get upstairs to their apartment. And then all of a sudden, that doesn't make a bit of difference. And Min is just terrified.
You say you were there.
Oh, I understood it. Her granddaughter had been over there 1 or 2 nights, and Peggy tried to get her to come up there to stay with her. But there's a strangeness there with Peggy's husband, I think, that doesn't make Min come.
Vern, I was telling Mort, we had a real nice experience at Christmas. We called Margaret Perry and had her and little Debbie out to the house all Christmas Day.
Today's Debbie's birthday.
Oh, is it? Oh, let's send her a card. Anyway, and I sent Kevin in to pick them up, you know, because he's been working as a medical aide, you know, in a special class at school. And so I wanted him to get that experience, and it was a real good experience for him.
Have you met Debbie?
You've seen Debbie, the little
Like
cerebral
years ago
girl.
when Ted had her out to his song by Christmas, and that's the only time I've ever seen her.
And we had them there almost all day.
Aren't you noble?
And it was a good experience for our family.
Learn to love Margaret. Debbie can't even feed herself, and she has to feed her and turn her.
Where does Debbie come from?
That's Margaret's niece.
But she's down to American Fork, and Margaret goes down and gets her every other week. So she went down and picked her up Wednesday, which would mean she'd take her back Sunday. And just half a day there, because it takes two people really to lift her, and I don't know how Margaret does it.
She's not getting any younger either.
No, she still looks good though. She's a very attractive girl.
I haven't seen her for about a year.
She looks
And a
very
cute
good.
sense of humor.
Does she look better than she did when that?
Yeah, a lot better.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you can tell that's a big strain off her.
Oh, that was just think what she's been through with her dad, with Charles, with her mother, now with this Debbie.
Well, and then
I'd like to have it recorded there. I was telling Mort, she got talking about Uncle Carl and Aunt Esther.
Oh,
And I'll tell you, what story she's...
you ought to get it, huh?
I'd like to have recorded that because she just went...
She has a memory
Oh,
to remember all these little things.
You know, Dad and Mother were always very quiet whenever Uncle Carl and Aunt Esther's names came up, you
yeah,
know.
you didn't get much going out of that.
But Margaret,
She knows everything.
she knew the whole bit.
Oh,
Oh, that was an episode in our family right there.
Gee. I didn't know Uncle Carl was the local drunk in San Francisco. This was after he was a bishop.
Was that right?
Yeah, after he was a bishop.
Daddy.
Did you know he was excommunicated?
I knew that. But I understand, if according to Margaret, he was disfellowshipped again after he was bishop.
Was that right?
Bad. Great. I don't know though whether it's too bad. I think if we had Esther, we'd drink.
Oh, gee.
Oh boy.
She was really.
Or else I'd push her off the Bay Bridge or
Like
something.
Uncle Marv used to say, the champagne at night, the real pain in the morning.
What pain in the morning?
The real pain in the morning.
I don't know whether it's even champagne at night.
Well,
Should we break up?
yeah, at that time, about an hour. Right here in the station is 5 minutes. We got some good looking gals on there.
We got a good news product, I'll tell you. Not because it's our channel, but I think the news products in Salt Lake, all three of them are hard to beat out there.
Surprised to see that our boy moved back east from Channel 2.
Yeah, he wasn't doing very well for
who
him.
was that?
Greenlaw, Patrick Greenlaw.
Oh,
Got a good promotion.
I thought he had a good dignity about it.
He didn't come across with the Salt Lake people, Mark. It's almost like you mentioned about these people that come in with the chains. They don't know the culture of the people.
Who is this though?
Patrick Greenlaw.
what did you think about the governor's inaugural talk when he talked about the ruling majority?
Moral majority, dear.
I thought he was rather foolish
I
myself.
did too.
Stupid.
The governor's wife was in yesterday having her hair done. My boy does her hair too. And she said the governor has just been inundated with complimentary calls on how with what
He would dare stand up to it.
what finesse he handled his outdoor speech.
Wait till it comes to the next election.
Well, were you, Professor Wright?
Not at all.
See, we know him very well. We go out.
I don't.
Wasn't he nice? Good?
Oh, he's a nice guy, but
I thought it
this guy Smith Food
Would be better?
Campaign manager.
Yeah.
was Dick Smith?
Yeah.
Was he campaign manager? Well,
We had him talk
Oh, yeah,
about
Dick's a sharp cookie, I'll say.
Program committee, and he came up to me at before the meeting started. He said, "Do you mind if I introduce him?" And I was all prepared to do it because I had Robert Wright's dad as a guest there with me.
We belonged to dinner club.
But I tell you, he talked longer than
Wright did.
Wright did. Yeah.
Then after
Then after it was all over with, he got Ralph over in the corner, Robert in the corner. He said, "Why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that?"
that was a very weak candidate. Very weak.
Well, and then he started being picky.
yeah, that's
Not just,
I think if they'd had a good candidate, they could have taken him.
I was talking to Elder Haight today on another matter. He says, "Joe, what do you think of the governor's inaugural?" I said, well, I thought he was very ill-advised to use the phrase he did with moral majority. I said, what's the feeling over there? He says it's very, very badly received.
Well, Arch is on his committee. And
Governor's committee.
Governor's committee, and I said, what did Arch think? And he said, well, Arch just said he was misquoted.
To play. I'm dreaming right now. I always am dreaming. But